Hey guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to just be rotating the tires on my truck. Having actually kind of a mild day here. It's supposed to get real cold again tonight and tomorrow. But I want to try and get my tires rotated because I haven't done it in a while. It's a pretty simple procedure if you've never done it before. There's several methods to doing it, depending if you have four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. I'll roll in a chart for that now. But basically you're going to want to jack up your vehicle. In my case, I've got a Dodge Ram and I'm on gravel, so I'm gonna have to do a couple extra steps to get it up there. But it's real simple. You just jack up the car and then you follow the pattern for moving the wheels around, and it shouldn't take you too long once you get the car up in the air. So the first thing you want to do is get your vehicle on pretty level ground. You don't want the vehicle able to tip too much one way or the other. It's better to do on pavement, better to do on concrete still, where it's hard and nothing's going to move. But if this is all you got, this will work too. So next thing you want to do is set the parking brake. This truck's got a foot brake. Although it's up in the air, you don't want it rolling anywhere while you're jacking it up, and you also want to keep the back tires from moving. Because I'm on gravel, I'm going to put the jack stands on these blocks of wood so that they don't sink so much into the dirt. I don't think they're going to sink too much, but because I have to jack up this whole truck and take off all the wheels at once, I'm going to put it on the wood just to be sure. Next thing you want to do is find the jack points for your vehicle, places that are safe. Refer to your owner's manual. But there's a jack point that I'm going to use under here on the crossbar, on the cross member, to jack it up. And then I'm going to position underneath the frame rails on the side the jack stands. Make sure you're following the right points for your vehicle, because it might be different. You don't want to, you might be able to use a pinch weld. You don't want to mess that up, and you don't want to ruin your vehicle or have it fall off worse and hurt or kill you. So make sure you got the right points. Now I've got this wood under here to support the jack because I'm on gravel. So locate your jack point, line up the jack, and then begin slowly pumping up the jack. Make sure you follow the instructions for your specific jack, and again for your vehicle. Get the jack locked so it's ready to open up. This one goes up so fast, it's so nice. Try and find the center point here. Though in the Ram, it's got this plate blocking the diff, which is off center. So that kind of complicates things. Make sure the jack is straight. And then you're going to want to slowly lift your vehicle and watch for imbalances. Watch what it's doing. Nothing's shifting too far out of the way. This is suspension travel, you have to come up pretty far. But you see the truck is sliding a little bit on the gravel. So you see I've got the front jacked up, and I've got the jack stands on some wood. They're up against the frame rails. And now I'm going to lower the front down slowly. I'm going to let the front down very slowly onto the jack stands. Yeah, the truck definitely looks way better lifted. Lifted with 35s would be cool, but I'll save that for when I have a diesel. So you're always going to make sure that you've got enough clearance. There's a lot of travel in the front suspension on this truck, especially because I have a 2-inch leveling kit. Which isn't much, but it's just enough when you're doing something like this. So now that it's on stands, I'm going to go jack up the rear of the truck, get that supported on stands. When that's all good, I'll come back and use the jack on the front and come up a little bit higher. I just don't want the truck to be so out of balance. Again, this would be easier if you aren't raw on concrete. It doesn't take that long. It's worth it. Do it in my driveway, do it right, and not have to pay somebody else to do it. So in an effort to make my life a little bit easier, I got the old jack out too. Because I can't get the truck on the 4 stands on this gravel, I've got 3 wheels off the ground, so I'm going to start rotating one by one, and that way at least I've always got 2 wheels or 2 tires always on the car. So getting yourself an impact wrench will help big time. I've got one big one like this and a couple smaller ones. It's totally worth the investment if you're going to work on your car at all. Also, I have aftermarket wheels on both trucks and aftermarket lug nuts, so I've got an adapter for these goofy lug nuts. They were the only ones in black I could find that were long enough to cover the whole stud. Let me get this wheel off and move it up to the front because that's where it's going. This is a good time when you have the wheels off. Just look and check these suspension components. You know, you can look for grease, look for any leaks, anything that looks loose or damaged or missing. Now's a good time. Also, I use antiseize on the hubs to try and prevent any rust and corrosion there. On the studs as well, to try and prevent the lug nuts from rusting on there. But I've done that before, and there's still plenty left on there, so I'm going to leave it as is for now. Here's the last one. In case anyone is wondering, these are Milestar Patagonia MTs, 33 12.5 by 17. I think next time I might do 35s, but 35s are like $200-300 more expensive at the time, and I really don't want to spend the money. So these kind of work for now, but if you're running a bigger lift, or you got the diesel, you might want to do 35s. So here's the trick sitting down. You don't want to get your feet too far under just in case. But you get your thighs underneath, or your shins underneath rather. You can lift it up. Get it on there. There we go. Whew. Alright, let's get them on there nice and slow. The direction of the star doesn't matter. I mean, if you're on an angle, it helps to get the top on and then the bottom. You know, I wouldn't start left to right, but just try and do the opposite one. You know, start here, opposite. Either way is opposite. So I'm not really getting them on tight now. Just want to give them all time to settle and not damage the threads, hopefully. And again, once they're all on there, getting the ugga torque. 3 uggas. All right, now we just got to get the jack stands out. We can lower it and torque it up. So one thing I do is I take note of the lug nut torque. So on the Tahoe, it's 100 foot-pounds, and on the Ram, it's 120 to 150 foot-pounds. I usually do 125, something like that. But basically, the Ram's got 5 lugs, the Tahoe's got 6, so it's putting the same amount of force, I believe, on the wheel. But you don't necessarily have to be concerned about the torque, but you want it to be even, and it's really not a big deal to do that extra step of grabbing a torque wrench. And you can go down to Harbor Freight and get yourself a budget torque wrench. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars. Not a big deal if you're just a couple pounds off with a cheap torque wrench. Better than nothing. Now that she's on the ground, I can get the torque wrench, and I put the extension on. I know it changes the torque value a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Just because the offset is so much, I want to make sure a torque wrench clears the tire and the outside of the wheel. So we're going to set this to, we'll do 130. 130, good old American foot-pounds. Procedure is the same as before. So I had to go a little bit away till it clicked. That one clicked right away, probably because it's on the bottom. Just going to check them all again. Sometimes as one tightens, it'll relieve pressure on another one. So you just want to make sure. Again, this isn't a race car or anything, so it's not that important. But it's good to check. Again, this is a cheap one, so it's not the most high precision instrument, but you still want to take care of it. Never want to use it for breaking anything loose. Just want to use it for keeping things torqued properly. Alright, so now that that's all done, I'm just going to clean up this stuff, and then I might get to a more fun project. Although it is going to be so windy tomorrow, I have to wonder if I need to clean up more out here. It's probably a couple things. Beard condensation. There's probably a couple more things I can clean up out here. But now would be a good time to check your tire pressure. If you have a tire pressure monitoring system, it is going to show the wrong pressures because you've rotated the tires. So what it thinks is the front tire is now going to be the back tire, and vice versa. Sometimes I swap them around in my wife's Tahoe, but really you just kind of keep an eye on the pressures, make sure they're equal, and if one starts changing, you go around and check them. Although the relearn procedure is not that hard on a Tahoe, it's kind of a pain. You got to drain all the air. Not all the air, excuse me. You got to drain or add air, usually somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute in each tire, and then it'll honk, and then you do that around all the wheels, front, left, all the way around, clockwise, and then when that's done, you can equalize all the pressure. So it's not always worth it. On the Ram, I've got sensors in the wheels, but the sensors are never read, even in the stock tires. So I think it's the receiver. I mean, you might have to go. They're supposed to just pick it up, but you might have to go to the Dodge dealer and have them reflash it, and I'm not doing that. So I just roll with the sensor light on, and I'm not going to buy new sensors if I get new wheels. So I kind of wasted $100 on sensors when I got the truck. But that's kind of up to you. I mean, just check your tires, make sure the pressure's good. I'll probably go around with the tire pressure gauge this time, and if I decide to do that, I'll make another video. The other thing I wanted to show you was to keep notes of, I can't show you the insurance paperwork, of all the maintenance. In every vehicle there's a notepad, in the Tahoe as well. So I'm going to write the date, and let's write the mileage. 118, 190. And we rotated all four wheels. And I'm going to look back and see what the old mileage was. So the total mileage from the last rotation was 4,579. You could probably do it. I don't know, they're mud tires, so you might want to do it every 3,000. I saw them wearing a little bit, so 3,000 is probably want to be where you want to be. But a normal car, you could probably do 6,000, no problem. So now it's time to clean up, get everything back in the shop, and hopefully start enjoying the weekend. It's probably going to be a weekend inside with the weather tomorrow. But thanks for watching. I hope this helped you. If it did, leave a comment. If you see him doing something wrong, I'm sure there's always, there's always that internet warrior who's got, do it this way. Yeah, you're probably right, but I've done this a million times, and it's fine. I just prefer to be a little bit safer on a piece of concrete. But other than that, with that rant being over, thanks for watching. May God bless you, and keep standing up for what's right. And we'll see you in the next one.